Hi guys. Okay, so moving on now. Part two is going to be actually showing you the different sorts of nappies. So we've just seen all the different fabric options and what they look like in the previous video. And this is now going to take you through the 4 different styles of nappy that I've identified to keep this as simple as possible. And they are a pocket, an all-in-2, an all-in-1, and a fitted. So a pocket is the easiest sort of to understand. You essentially have, I'm going to show you like a cover like this, outer, and you pop absorbency in a pocket, which is a gap basically between your outer fabric and your lining. Different types of fabric can go in here. Might be microfiber, might be bamboo. You might shove 3 or 4 inserts in there. You might only need 1 all folded up. But essentially, a pocket is talking about where you put your absorbency and you pop it in that hole. Okay, that's pocket nappies. The next one is an all-in-2, and an all-in-2 is referring to the fact that your absorbency and your cover are 2 pieces. So it's all in 2 pieces essentially. So you have absorbency that can snap in and out. It might lay in and out. It might fold up into the nappy somehow. But essentially your absorbency and your cover are 2 separate bits, and that is why it's an all-in-2. And it's a versatile type style because you can put more inserts in. You can take fabric out. You can boost it if you need for night times, essentially by putting more and more fabric in them up to whatever it's actually going to be able to hold. But all-in-2 is very sort of popular because when the baby's little you can use less absorbency, and when they're bigger you can add more. It's also popular because some people want to get the most use out of their covers, so they are going to have less covers and more inserts. So they might reuse their cover a couple of times with clean inserts, or your covers dry exceptionally quickly, so you might decide that you are going to reuse clean covers with clean inserts while the other inserts are drying, because your inserts are absorbent. They take a lot longer to dry than your cover, which is just synthetic fabrics, so they don't really absorb that much water out of the washing machine, so they will, as I said, dry quite quickly. So that is a very basic rundown of what an all-in-2 nappy is. Absorbency comes away from your cover. Okay, the next one is an all-in-one. An all-in-one is the most sort of simple, like a disposable. So it's actually all sewn together. So you've got, here's our baby bear all-in-one, but it's actually sewn in. So you can't take this out. There's also absorbency sewn into the lining, and you can't take that out either. So like I was just saying before, when the baby's small and they might not need as much absorbency, you can't actually remove absorbency. So they can be bulkier on little babies because you've sort of got to have enough absorbency for a toddler in a nappy that is now for a tiny baby. It doesn't mean that they don't work. They're just going to be a little bit bulkier, less versatile. You can still boost these. You can pop more inserts in underneath, especially for nighttime. You can fold up a night booster and pop it in there. And yeah, make them work for you. So very easy to use. You don't need to assemble these. That's sort of one of the sort of pros of this style, I guess. But the other one is, once it's dirty or wet, you have to wash the whole thing. So you can't just reuse a cover with a clean insert. The whole thing has to go in the machine. The whole thing has to dry together. So that's one reason they're not quite as popular, because people like that versatility, I guess. But they are the most simple nappy, and I actually use all-in-ones because I like that I pull the nappy off the washing line and it's all already done. I don't have to find any bits, and it works really well for me. And they fit my girls really well from quite a small age without sort of worrying about them being too bulky. So that is what an all-in-one is. All one piece. No snapping in and pulling apart. One piece nappy. Everything you need right there. Okay. Next style is a fitted. And a fitted is a nappy that doesn't have waterproofing in it. So taking one step back, all of these nappies with the PUL and the Minky on the outside have waterproofing in them, which I can actually show you. You can see the fabrics are lined with this. Oh, look at that. It's a waterproof inside. which sits against the outer minky or the outer PUL. So they're all waterproof. Okay, so when you buy the nappy, it doesn't need a cover. That's it. So these pockets, these all in twos, they are the whole thing. They come with your cover, which is absorbent, and your inserts. But when we start moving to a fitted looks, and on face value, it looks the same, but this nappy actually has no waterproofing. It requires something to go over the top. Okay, so why would you pick a fitted? First is they're more absorbent. This whole thing is absorbent fabric. So even these layers on the outside are absorbent. And then when you open it up inside, we've got more absorbency. So it's all natural fabrics too. So this whole nappy is bamboo cotton. It's got that nice bamboo velour top on it. And then the outer is the same. It's got velour and then it's got bamboo cotton on the inside. These are so beautiful and soft, and breathable. So although your PUL is nice and breathable, these have no synthetic in them. So some parents really like them almost like a terry towel nappy that snaps on to run around outside in the summer, and they're not wearing pants. So even if it gets a little bit damp on the outside, it doesn't matter. So that's one thing on top of the amount of absorbency that you can get in them. So if you've got a really heavy wetter or for nighttime, people generally use fitted nappies. Or if they don't want any synthetics, they might also go for fitted nappies. So if you're really into no synthetics at all, you might go something like this with a wool cover. And the wool's got to be lanolized, etc., to be waterproof. But that's sort of going the full, totally natural type scenario with no synthetics. So that's an option as well if that appeals to you. So fitted nappies, essentially, they need a cover, so they are a two-piece system. The nappy looks like a nappy, but it's not waterproof. That's really what it means, a fitted. It's like all your absorbency snaps on rather than comes away in inserts. So that's sort of the 4 different styles. So just recapping: the pocket, where there's sort of a slit in the back where you can put absorbency between your lining and your outer fabric. Your all-in-2, where it snaps in and out or lays into the cover. All-in-1, it's all sewn together, it's one piece, there's no assembly. And then you fitted, where there's no there's no waterproof material, and it's highly absorbent, generally for night times or really heavy wetting babies. So they're your different styles. Then a cover. So one of the features we hear about in covers and even nappies, and this nappy is a little bit different. I'm showing you it's got this nice Velcro outer. So is double gussets, and some of these nappies have double gussets. And what is a double gusset? It's like a extra deep sort of part to the nappy. So this bit goes around their leg and the hooks to them, and it sort of makes it almost like a bucket, I guess. Somebody who described it to me like that, it makes it like a bucket, Jenny, and less likely to sort of leak. And I don't know about the less likely to leak, because I've never really had leaks out of my cloth nappies that don't have gussets, double gussets. But yeah, you can I'll open it all the way up so you can have a really good look inside this cover. So this is a wipe clean. There's no lining fabric, essentially because it's not designed to go against bub's skin. It's designed for inserts to go in and sit against their skin, or for them to be in a fitted nappy and that to be inside it. So you cannot see here that it's bit hard to see, but you can see it's creates like a bucket effect, and that's sewn in there for the nappy to go in. So this also gives you deeper ability to boost, so you can get more layers in a cover like this. It's a nice big cover, so it makes sure everything's covered and encased, which is of course what you need if you're going to pop a fitted in, because if you tried to pop a fitted in anything else, it wouldn't actually stay in there. So you see it sort of goes in and comes around it like that. Yeah. It's hard to explain, but that's what a double gusset is. The next thing is just to want to go over some questions that we get. So one of the first ones, what are all these snaps for? Oh my gosh, there's so many snaps. Look at all those snaps. Oh my goodness. They're to adjust the size, which sort of takes us to how do these nappies fit from birth to toilet training. Different nappies have different ways of doing this, but They call these rise snaps, and essentially the bottom snap when they're a newborn snaps all the way up here onto the top snap and makes the nappy extra small, and suddenly it's a small enough size to go on a tiny baby. And doesn't look so neat there, but it looks quite nice and cute on them when they're tiny. But you see we've gotten rid of all that excess fabric, and now we have a much smaller nappy to go on our bub, and then around the waist to get smaller, and it's getting littler and littler and littler, and you can sort of see that we're now got a tiny little newborn nappy. This isn't as easy with one hand, but I'm trying to make it work. There we go. So you sort of get the idea that now it's smaller, and then they grow with your baby until your snaps are fully extended, like on this one, and you have the full rise, and they're going to fit them till they're a toddler. So that's what all the snaps are for. Do not panic about the snaps. It is quite straightforward. There are tricks and tips to get them on the right snap fitting. Essentially, the littler the baby, the smaller, the lower the snap that you're going to use. But that's what the snaps are for. They are to adjust the sizing, and that is what makes them a one size fits most nappy. Side snap nappies, I do want to point out, do adjust slightly differently. And I just have to grab one over here because look, this side snap nappy, there's no snaps on the front. That is the front of the nappy. The snap is to the side, and these get smaller essentially by coming back around the back, and the bigger the nappy needs to be, the further towards the front. So it sort of grows outwards, and then as it comes back, it sort of does make the rise a little bit smaller, and you get this natural sort of fold in the nappy anyway when it goes on bub. So they fit our teddies, we call them teddies, side snap nappy, fits from about 4 kilos, whereas our other nappies will fit from 3.5 kilos with those rise snaps down the front. But so side snapping, that's another thing we get asked, what's side snap mean? It means this. It's so many different things to think about and remember. So there you go. That's a side snap nappy, snaps to the side rather than the back tabs coming over the front like in the other styles. Okay, what is a booster? A booster is an extra piece of absorbent fabric that is going to go inside your nappy. So it's an extra insert, essentially. You have inserts and a cover. A booster is more absorbency, so an extra piece of fabric that's going to go in. It can be in all different shapes and sizes, but essentially boosting is just adding more fabric. What is a TriFold? This is another one. A TriFold is an insert that folds in 3. So they generally give you more fabric. Why do that? It'll dry faster when it's unfolded than if we sewed 6 layers together. So that's why they fold up to go in the nappy. So you can get extra absorbency all in one piece, but they're still going to dry reasonably quick. And we usually recommend these for night because they're really giving you a really big boost in your nappies as a TriFold. Another one is a Prefold, and this is sort of another sort of system of nappies, which is covers and Prefolds. Usually we see them with newborns. I've got a Prefold here to show you. They're generally this cotton weave. I'll just see if I can get it in nice and close. You can sort of see it. It's like a calico almost fabric. They're cotton. They're really absorbent. There's less layers on the outer thirds, this one and this one, than what goes through the middle. So they're often like 4, 6, 4, or 4 layers, 8 layers, 4 layers, or 2, 4, 2, just depending on how much absorbency is inside. But they are Prefold. They call them Prefold because you prefold them and then you pop them in your nappy. Okay, this is a much bigger one. This is sort of like a toddler size. And then it would, pop in your nappy like that, like in a cover, like I showed you before. I can pop this one out and show you again. Like that. And inside the nappy and up and over. Okay, so that's Prefolds and covers. So essentially that is what a Prefold is. We don't sell Prefolds at Baby Bear, but there is lots of different brands who do. And search Prefold and you're going to find plenty of options. Okay, what's a liner? So people talk about liners to catch the poo, make cleaning up nappies easier. We have 2 different sorts. There's disposable, and there's a lot of argument about can we flush disposable. Short answer is you shouldn't. Yeah, they'll go down, but they shouldn't. So we recommend getting as much poop off them and chucking them in the bin if you decide to use disposable ones. Or what has become exceptionally popular is these microfleece ones. So I showed you microfleece before. It's exactly the same as the lining in a lot of nappies. You can sort of see it there. There's this nice fluffy soft stuff. And you can buy packs of them, or you can go to Spotlight and buy it and cut it up, which can be a little bit annoying, but it's definitely cost effective. So they are what a lot of people decide to use as a liner, because look, they're generally, I know from us you get 10 for $5.50, I think. You can buy them in bundle packs, so they're cheaper. But if it's absolutely like so disgusting you don't want to deal with it, you could throw it out, or it's much easier just to pull that layer off and give it a good clean and then wash it a separate to your nappy. But yeah, that's a microfleece liner. They help keep your nappies looking pristine so they get less stains, because this sort of protects your nappy as well. Lots of different reasons why people use liners, but yeah, just grab one off so you can see it. It's just a single piece that's big enough to cover the inside of your nappy, and it lays into your nappy over the top of everything else and sits inside and catches the poop so that you don't have to do as much scrubbing. Okay, so just summing up, one more thing I want to show you is what's a newborn nappy. So it's a newborn nappy. Oh, it's little and it's cute. So they're smaller than your one size fits most nappy. You can sort of see this is like a 4 to 16, 18 kilo size, and this is a 2 to about 6.5 kilo size. And newborn nappies, once again, will come in all of those different styles. You're all in one, you're all in two, your pocket, you're fitted. But essentially, they are smaller and they will fit for a shorter period of time. Do you need newborn nappies? That's up to you. The benefit of a newborn nappy over a one size fits most or a sized nappy is there is less bulk. So a nappy like this will still fit, like a 3.5 kilo baby, but there's going to be a lot more fabric, so it's going to be bulkier, whereas these little newborn, especially made for nappies, are going to give you a much trimmer fit on bub and not be quite as big. So some people do choose to go for them for that reason. And some people will have a few newborn nappies maybe for when they're out and about under a nice outfit, and then use their one size fits most as well. There's no rules. You can mix and match and do what suits you. Okay, so my next video, which I'm about to get to, is going to be about what you need to buy, because this is the next question. Once you've picked what style you like and you know what you want, people don't know how many nappies, etc. So that's what I'm going to go over in our next video. So I will see you there.